a successful sales team. So I have gone out in the marketplace and see people all over the country who are really confused about what they're doing, their strategy, about how to build a business. And so sometimes I don't understand where they're coming from because they have all these really crazy ideas about how to build a business, and I look at their success and they're not having the success they want. And I want to make this as simple and plain as possible. You own a company. You are a CEO. If you are in this business, you have signed an application and become an associate, you literally are a business owner. So that's the first step. I want you to put on an hat today that says, I own a company. I'm not in some weird, crazy business. I own a company, and I'm going to run my company like a company. Did you see that my screen just changed?
It went out of presentation mode.
What do you see?
I see
The regular PowerPoint with your slides on the side.
All right, I'm just going to leave this because this is, I'll try it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first slide. Do you see Verizon?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what I want to accomplish today is I want you to get your business hat on, and the goal is how do other companies build successful sales teams? All right, everyone on the face of the earth has bought something. You're sitting in front of a computer that you bought. You're drinking a coffee that you bought. You're on a phone that you bought. Somehow it got to your home, got to you're looking on a laptop. So somebody sold you something. It had an idea in the very beginning, and then it had to get distributed out across the nation for you to be the customer of that purchase. And that is the same thing with everything. So let's look at this. This is Verizon. People used Verizon, used it. Okay, so used it, and then Verizon knew they had to share it, because just because Verizon exists doesn't mean anybody knows about it. So they need to get it out there. They use a certain kind of marketing where they buy billboards and they buy radio, TV, different things. They have a certain way that they go to the marketplace. Here's a store, because people want to talk to people one-on-one. They want to come in and say, I don't understand all these cell phone companies. I need to talk to you one-on-one. I need a presentation. I need to be able to talk to a human being. They did try the over-the-phone thing where you could call in, years ago, but now Verizon and AT&T, they're all opening stores across the United States because people want to walk in, they want to meet somebody one-on-one, which is very similar to Legal Shield. So Verizon, we've used it, everybody shared it. Oh yeah, my kids, we had Sprint. All of my kids said, Mom, you got to get Verizon, you got to get Verizon, you got to get Verizon. Everybody at school has Verizon. So my kids shared with us that Verizon was better than Sprint. That's what they said. So what did we do eventually after 4 years? We switched, and now we have Verizon because my kids shared it with us that it was the best service, is what they said. So we bought it, but they didn't make any money. So they shared it, they used it, they shared it, and they told us about it. Now we're a customer, but my kids did not get paid for that marketing. All right, so companies like to get people to use it, they get us to share it, then they duplicate all kinds of stores all over the United States. That's called building a successful sales team. Can you see my screen now? Do you see an Apple phone?
Yes.
No.
Yes? Yes?
I see the Apple phone.
Okay,
Apple
good.
share duplicate.
All right, so the same thing. People use an Apple phone. They like it. They say, hey, this is the greatest. Look at this. Look at my pictures. Look at what I can do. Look at how I touch my phone and things happen. Then they share it with people. People go to this store to buy it. All right, so all of us have shared an Apple, or maybe you're not an Apple person. What's that other phone called? An Android. And so you think that's better. You're sharing how big the pictures are and how much better they are than Apple. And so you're out there sharing in the marketplace. That company then duplicates stores all over the place so you can walk in and buy it, but you didn't get paid on that purchase. All right, let's look at, so let's wrap this up. Here's the reality. You go to a theater. You go to a restaurant, You get an Apple phone or an Android. You have cellular service of some kind. You share it with somebody else out in the marketplace, and then those stores, because we're the ones sharing it in the marketplace. Hey, have you seen that movie? Hey, have you gone to this restaurant? Oh my gosh, you've got to go to this restaurant. It is so good. And so we're doing the sharing, and then those companies are doing the duplicating, because that's the whole point. They want to open in every market in America. They want market penetration and market dominance with their product everywhere, so sales soar. You've got to think like that. All right, now the thing is, in this little scenario, the big question is, do we get paid? And the answer is no. We do not get paid from sharing the good movie or the good restaurant or the great cellular service or the best kind of phone to have. We get paid nothing. All right, but we're all out there doing the sharing. So that's what I first want you to understand. You already do what you do in Legal Shield. It's not something weird. It's what you do already. For everybody else, they just don't pay you. Now it's the first time you get to have your own sales team. You get to build your own sales team. You're using a service. You're saying, yes, this is awesome. Yes, I love the benefits. You're sharing it with people. Now you need to do just what Verizon does, just what AT&T does, just what Sprint or the movie theater. They duplicate. They put centers all over America. First you want to go across the street in your own hometown, across the city, across the state, across the country. So really build market domination locally. When any product is brought to the market from a company standpoint, corporation standpoint, they don't just spray all over the United States. They focus and dominate in a certain area to perfect a system. Then they duplicate that system in another nearby city. Then they duplicate and duplicate, so they go from 1 store to 4 stores to 8 stores to 10 stores to 20 to 50 to 100 to 1,000 stores. Okay, so it all kind of expands out. You go from yourself using the service to you sharing it. That goes to me, and sharing it, some people say, wow, this is awesome, I want to do it too. Then you have 2 associates, then you have 5 associates, then you have 10 associates, and you have 50 customers and 100 customers and 200 customers, and it just grows exactly the same way. Only we do not have storefronts. We are the storefront. I am the billboard. So instead of buying a billboard, I open my mouth and start sharing in a very few impactful words, just like you would see on a billboard on a highway. You don't write a story. You don't speak a story. You speak a billboard. So the question is, on your sharing, do you have a billboard statement? If you drive down the highway and you look up to the left or the right and you see a billboard, you notice that there are not 50 words on that billboard. There's not even usually 10 words on that billboard. They have to say what they are all about in 10 words or less to get the impact in the marketplace that you might want their service or want their product. We're doing the same thing. When we go out and share, we have to have impact statements. We have to be just like every other company. We have to get their attention so that they might be interested or intrigued, that they would want to know more. Thus, they become a customer, maybe an associate, possibly a company account. So that's how we do it. We use the service, we share it, and then we duplicate, just like Verizon, just like Apple stores, and we do it through people. So this is how you build your own sales team, the exact same way. We just use different marketing methods. We don't use a billboard. We use word of mouth. All right, so let's go a little deeper into this. Oh, on this one, the good news is when we do it with Legal Shield, we do get paid. Unlike the movies, the restaurants, the Apple computers that you say, oh, this is good, or have you tried the new Surface Pro 3? This is good. You got to get this service. You got to get constant contacts. We're telling you, have you gotten the AAA service? This is really good. Oh, I love this home insurance. Or we're sharing, but we're never getting paid. So finally, you get to get paid for a service you use, and you get to share. Then you coach other people to how to use it, how to share it, and then that duplicates you. So the system is very simple. Don't get it complicated. You use the service, you share it, you coach other people to use it and share it, and then it duplicates. All right, I'm using the service, a couple key things. First piece of the puzzle to success, use the service. You download the app. New associate, you're getting started, great. How do you launch your business? First thing, download the app, get your will done. Call with any question, but call with a question. Just everybody has a question, and just you need to call the attorneys, get them to call you back, use your app, see the experience, own it, so you know that this is real, this is viable, this is amazing, so you're so excited. That'll build your belief. Get a contract reviewed. Maybe it's a contract, you wonder what your rights are. Maybe it was a lease, and you wonder, you know, what is, maybe it's a landlord, anything, a health club, a timeshare. You want to get it reviewed to know if you can get out of it. You want to know if there's something you can do about it. They're not fixing your plumbing. The landlord, you have them review your lease, and you see what your rights are. Just use the service so you have these experiences. The key is you need to believe. Now, I owned, some people know I had a background in owning tanning spas, so I used a service first, and then they said, you should own the business. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I would never own a business like that. And they're going, well, look how well the service worked for you. And I said, that's true. And they kept talking to me about, they kept talking to me about, we cannot let anybody else on the webinar. Unfortunately, we've maximized our webinar, so we're going to have to work on helping people get on. So if anybody is frustrated because they can't get on or their team can't get on, we have maximized all the lines. I just got notified. Because it's, I don't know if you can see this popping up on my screen, but we will work on getting bigger lines for the webinar. Anyhow, so I had a service. I used it. It was a European tanning bed. It came to America. 1 year later, I bumped into this service. I used it. It was great. The person that told me to use it also sold the tanning beds. Isn't that amazing? So she was telling me, you should buy one. You should get in this business. And I'm like, no, that's crazy. So she was smart enough to say, hey, that's cool. Just use the service. See how you like it. So I used the service. I went crazy. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I was in love with the service. And then she, again, approached me about the business, which I was totally adverse to at first. And then I realized, wow, this is amazing. Other people are just like me. They would be interested in the service the same way I was. I didn't really know about it. I didn't really know how good it was, but I used it, and then it was amazing. So I said, yes, I think you're right. I think I should buy a $6,000 tanning bed at age 19. So when you're looking at somebody to have a $149 investment in a legal shield and identity theft sales and marketing company that has all the customer service, 6,900 attorneys, 2,200 identity theft, and you are having trouble, there's something wrong with this area here called belief. Because when you use a service and you know what it does and you know how many people need it, you will understand the value of the 149. I'm sitting there at age 19 looking at a $6,000 investment, and I understood that was okay to make because I used the service and I felt like there was people just like me out there in the marketplace that would want to use it too. That's the marketing plan. That's how simple this is. So you make a decision because you use it, you know that it works, you know there's other people just like you there being mistreated that don't know their rights, that have traffic tickets, their insurance is being raised, they don't have a will. All of those things are what they're experiencing. So you want to be the person that goes out there and helps them. All right. The key was, this is the biggest difference between success that you're having and lack of success. So I'm sticking on this. You use the service, you love the service, you believe in the service, just like I do with my tanning spas, okay? I believed in the service. The difference was I was willing to go out in the marketplace, get uncomfortable, and share it. So the demarcation, the difference between average success and massive success is just how many people you've shared it with. So yes, I used it, and then I believed in it, so the belief was there, but the question is, what am I going to do about that? I believe in it, but am I going to share it? With my tanning spas, I said yes. I went out there and shared it with who? Okay, who would want to tan? I started to think, who would want to tan? I thought college kids and sorority sisters, and I went to places just handing out flyers so they could see the results of my skin, and so I went out and shared it with who I thought would want it. And what did I share? The benefits. I showed them what I look like. I showed them the benefit. And within 4 months, I was booked 6 a.m. till midnight, paid off my $6,000 in 4 months. And that was the launch of my business at age 19 with a $6,000 investment. It's the exact same thing we do in Legal Shield. Exact same thing. Nothing is different. We use the service, and now we have to, that means you, yes, you have to share the service. Share with who? Top prospects plus a whole bunch of other ideas, which I'm going to get to. Share what? Share the benefits. That's it. That's how simple it is. You got to get out there and share. So let's go to the sharing with top prospects. The key is when you go out to the market and you're launching your business, you're not spraying all over the place, running around in circles. Be a professional business owner. Sit down and make your priority. So here's members. Here's some qualities: married, teenage drivers, own their own home, own their own business. They like me. So these would be great people to go to, because if you're married, have teenage drivers, own their own home, own a business, they are very highly likely to say yes to your service. All right? For associates, the highest probability of an associate is somebody dissatisfied with their industry, their job environment, their income, their lifestyle, or their time, lack of time freedom. So they need to be dissatisfied in something. Every one of you that is an associate, we're dissatisfied with something. Entrepreneurial is a super big plus because they get the 149 investment, they get the time and the investment of time and resources to build a business. They already are doing that, so they get that, going to the conventions, getting trained. That's all natural. That's all necessary. That's what an entrepreneur thinks like and does. They'll put out the money. They'll invest in their future for return on an investment. They'll make the sacrifices. That's entrepreneurial people. They get the sacrifice, the price for the promise. Credibility and contacts. Somebody who has credibility and contacts. Excellent. They can introduce you. They can be a connector. So those are great people to have this service presented to, because if they get the aha moment of how great it is, then you've got somebody either as an associate possibly or a connector, and both are phenomenal opportunities for you to grow your business. Money motivated, obviously, with the timing of the legal and IDT industry, a money motivated person is a fantastic person to talk to, and great networking skills. So what is this sheet right here? And this is all going to be online. Next to the webinar will be the top prospects and all the forms you're going to see today. So don't worry, you'll see the webinar and the forms, but they're all in the back office of ShieldNation under documents, under accountability. So we start our associates in ShieldNation. They put all the people they know on the sheet. They fill as many sheets out, a minimum of 100 would be great. And then they mark these boxes. So they start, you know, let's say they're married, no teenage drivers, they don't own a home, they don't own a business, but they like me. So I got 2 under the members. And then under associates, they love what they do, they've never owned their own business, they have credibility and contacts, they're not money motivated, and they don't have really good networking skills. So that would be a 1, 2 here, and 3. I think I said they had credibility. So 3, that's a 3. I go to the next name, and they are married, they have teenage drivers, own their own home, they own a business, they like me, they don't like their business, I had a conversation with them, so they're entrepreneurial, everybody loves them, they're money motivated, and they have networking. That would be a 10. All right, now who should I talk to first, the 3 or the 10? When you go through the exercise, a lot of people are just starting and running out there and just talking to people randomly, and they never take the time. It's like taking a tree and chopping it down, but you didn't sharpen your axe. So it's going to take you maybe 4 hours, maybe 10 hours to chop down a tree, whereas I go back and I sharpen my axe. Okay, I sit there and spend maybe 15 minutes to sharpen my axe, and I could chop down the tree in 30 minutes. It takes you 4 hours, it takes me 30 minutes, because I got prepared. I prioritized, and I was doing my activities were high productive activities. I had high performance in my activities because I took the time to prioritize. And that's what our top prospects. So we don't want to just make a list and just randomly call people. Really know what you're doing. Be a CEO. Be a business owner. When I went to my tanning spas, I didn't just walk up to, African Americans. Why would I do that? That wouldn't make sense. I didn't market to African Americans. They're not going to want to come to my tanning spa. So that would not be a good prospect for that particular service. So this is the same thing. You're doing what all companies do. All companies are saying, who is my customer and how can I reach them first? What is the highest probability of success of marketing to that kind of person? Where are they? And so once you get through here, your 10s are the first people you talk to. All right, the next thing, when we talk to those people, when we go and share the power of our service, we do an R3. This is the other biggest thing that no one's doing. First of all, they're not prioritizing their list, so they don't know who to share with first, second, third. You go to your 10s, your 9s, your 8s, your 7s. You teach people how to do the same thing, so they're going to go to their 10s, 9s, 8s, and 7s. So you have the most highly explosive team rather than a random team talking to anybody. All right, then they go share and they don't get referrals, of which we never use the word referrals when we're asking for referrals, just a tip. So I say referrals, but we don't say referrals to them. Hey, can I have some referrals? You'll have to watch the referral training to understand that, but do not use the word referrals when asking for referrals. So it's kind of an interesting concept, but we want them to recommend us to other people. And the key is that we've presented so amazingly, so simple, so powerfully in 15 minutes that they say, wow, I want to recommend you to my friends. I want you to recommend. You've got to go see this company. Oh my gosh, I know somebody that'd be so great for your company to help you with sales. This is right down their alley. If that person buys the membership and isn't interested in the business, no problem. Referrals open you up to a world of possibilities. A referral could be a referral to another consumer, which is another sale, or a company account, which is a bunch of groups, or somebody they know that's dissatisfied and looking for extra income. That means more recruits. So you could be presenting to this person, you can be doing a presentation, and it can turn into one of these 3 referrals. R3, referrals to the power of 3. So I had an associate that I was talking to that they were doing the consumer and the associate. And they forgot to the number 2, to ask for company accounts, or who do they know that cares about their employees. And they forgot to ask this question. Why wouldn't you ask this question? Of course you're going to ask this question. You want to know if they know a business owner that cares about their employees, because ask and you shall receive. So they realized they had left this out for an entire year. They weren't asking for the referrals to the power of 3. They were doing referrals, but referrals to the power of 2, which is good but not great. So we want to go to the best, and that is to do referrals to the power of 2. So who is the who? Who do you share with? Your top prospect list first, your 10s, your 9s, your 8s, your 7s. But also, from those presentations, you're going to get referrals, so then you go out to those referrals. That's expanding your business. Then you can go to, if you're good at networking groups, and that's in your line of business that you're doing already when you come into this business, you think, what skill sets do I have that can expand my market reach? What am I comfortable with? What world do I live in that can expand my market reach? So if you are, maybe you are a real estate agent and you're going to networking groups already, you're already comfortable in that arena. So maybe you join another networking group. Instead of being a real estate agent in that other networking group, you're now a Legal Shield business owner. So you have a sales and marketing company where you are helping individuals, families, individuals, small businesses, and their employees learn about our service in your local market. So that would be networking groups. Cold market, some people use that. That's not, that's the worst and last place you want to go. But if you're skilled in that, some people are skilled in that, and so they can go to the cold market, because Scott Brooks made $100,000 going to cold market his first year. So it's possible if you're good at that and you're disciplined on the phone. Very, very, very tough market. 3-foot rule, everybody you talk to within 3 foot of you, and the rest of these are different ideas. But it's sharing with any of these, and then doing R3 is the explosive way to market your new business. All right, let's go to the next step. And Now the question is share how. I need to first of all share with who, share what, and that's the benefits, and now share how. How do I share? And that's the Wealth Builders tracking form. That's what we use. That kind of gives you the how, and here is where you make your top prospects list, and then you make the first phone call. Here's the introductory call. All right, so you put the date right here in this little box on the introductory call. So I put on my top prospects list as I'm calling them to make an appointment to see them, or set up where they get an overview of the company. It could be a briefing, it could be an executive luncheon. There's a lot of different ways I'm going to make that presentation. I could do it one-on-one, but the key is everyone I know, the 10s, 9s, 8s, and 7s, are going to see and hear about the business so that they can either help me with referrals, or they can possibly be protected as a family, turn me on to businesses, referrals, all that kind of stuff. It all starts with the first call, but you start with your 10. So if the person answers the phone and you got an appointment with them, you have just they've just been transferred from the top prospects to the Wealth Builders. Their name and phone number goes there. You got the intro call date, and then maybe you're going to do a sit down. You're meeting them at Panera's. Okay, so the day of the sit down, you actually do the sit down. You put the date there. So let's say this is February 5th and this is February 6th. The sit down is the next day. You make the call on the 5th, you sit down on the 6th. So that would be, that's what on the sit down, they're like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I love it. They become a member. The results are here. They become an associate. So an associate obviously isn't going to give you referrals because they are going to go to all the people they know. So in that case, you're going to get a sale and associate. If it was a sale but they weren't interested in the business, then it's going to be a truckload of referrals. All right, so that's going to open you up to people they know, people that can be part of your business, companies that care about their employees. You're going to do referrals to the power of 3, and you're going to put how many you got right here. So you're going to say, wow, I did a call to a 10, 9, 8, or 7. I sat down with them, and it was amazing. These are the results I got. Even if they don't buy and don't become an associate, if you got referrals, then you got a result, because referrals can be as powerful for exploding your business as anything. So these are the 3 things you're looking for, and those referrals could be to a company account, another consumer, or a possible associate. So that's our 3 in this column. So those are the results of what we want to do. And these are the hows. So you learn all these different ways. And there's trainings on what is a PBR, which is basically putting a group of people in a conference room and an executive luncheon. That's a PBR. You can do it in a home. Some people do it in homes. Some people do it in their offices. Some people rent hotels. Some people, it's just anything that a group of people that you care about come over to help you launch your business. That's what a PBR is, private business reception. In my first 30 days, did a lot of PCCs. I put a lot of people on the phone at the same time so they could learn about it. I would send them something, they would look at it, and then I would put them on the phone with somebody that's better at telling the story than me. And I would do 5 or 6 people at a time, 3 times a day, my first 30 days. So I was very big on PCCs. That worked for me because everybody was busy, and but I didn't want to tell the story. I wanted my mentor to tell the story because she was better at telling the story, and then I wanted to value her time, so I put everybody on the phone at the same time. They were all business owners, and I told them that way you can hear the other questions of the other business owners. There's nothing to hide, and you can learn about the potential success for yourself by being on this call. What is 15 minutes? Isn't that worth listening and seeing if this is a fit for you? So that's what I would do, and this is the how for the sharing. The next thing is the coaching. The coaching model at ShieldNation is simply tell me, show me, let me, grow me, tell me what I'm supposed to do. And I just told you, you use the service and you share the service. So that's the tell me. You use the service and you share it with who? Your top prospects. Here's how you make your top prospect list. And then the share how, I go to the Wealth Builders tracking form, and I go through all the different ways on the Wealth Builders tracking form to share it. And then the coaching model goes into the next management tool, and that's personal daily achievement. This is where you actually put what you're actually doing. You put all your time management stuff on the PDA. You make calls right here, PDA calls to me every day. That's the coaching system. So that way if you have a Monday at 9 a.m. appointment at Monday at 9:30. You're going to be making a call to me, or 9:45 when you're done with your appointment, and we're going to talk about your appointment to see how you can get better. Did you ask for referrals? Did you present? What kind of objections did they have? Let me train you, coach you. By Monday at your 11 o'clock appointment, you're that much better because you had your first PDA call. That's our coaching system. It's that simple. You go out, you make the presentation, you call your coach, they coach you on the everything that happened. Maybe it's a celebration. It could be that you did everything right. That's great too. You got referrals, you got a new associate or a new member, and you got referrals, or you got a new associate and a new member, so you got an associate member. So that's great too. So those are, or you got no sales, no associate, but you got referrals. That's phenomenal too. So those are the things that we're looking for. We're looking for sales, referrals, and recruits. That's our three things that are going to explode your business. One of those three things. It doesn't always have to be a sale or a recruit. The key is that you understand the value of these three things, and we track them to make sure when you make a presentation that you are writing down in the presentation the results. Did you get a sale? You write down $29.95, and then you put new associate, and then in the box so you can see how many presentations you do a week. You put all those total presentations down. If you're doing 2 a week and you're wanting to make this $100,000 ring, that's not going to work. So 2 presentations, it could be 5 people were at a PBR. That would be 5 presentations were given at that PBR, because you had 5 people at a PBR getting a presentation, so that counts as well. So PBRs, briefings, executive luncheons, one-on-ones, they're all the same because they're all presentations. It doesn't matter which one works for you, just that the people you know are getting access to see and understand the value of our product and our company. So that's then, once you have used the service, you've shared it, you've coach people on how to share it right and more successfully every single presentation in their first. The coaching model is very seriously used in the first 30 days of their launch. So that's how you take yourself from here's you by yourself, you started like that, and then now you have a team of people following because you have taught them to use it, you have taught them to share the product, and now you are starting to expand all over the United States. Exact same way as every company expands their business. So you use, you share, you coach people to use and share, and that will duplicate your business. All right, now here's one final thing I want to show you. Are you ready to build a sales team? Some people think, it's all about the sales aren't important. I don't need to sharpen my axe. I don't need to get better in that area because, I just want to build a team, build a team, build a team. Well, I'm going to show you first of all, here's an ED that has 3 people they coach to do PC, which is 5 sales a month, and they coach them. This ED coached this green person here to do 5 sales a month and taught them how to teach other people to do the same. So this ED does 5 sales a month, coaches this person to do 5, this person and this person, so they coach 3 to do PC, and then that person coached 3 to do PC. This is an executive director position. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a $50,000 to $75,000 annual income with 12 people. All right, 50 to 75,000 or more, depending on the sales, because they can go way above 5. This can be a $50,000 to $75,000 annual income. This is not rocket science. 5 sales in a marketplace full of people that don't have wills, don't know their rights, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on, identity theft. All right, this is how simple it is, but when you're running around in circles, it's not simple. Now go down to this. An ED that does 10 sales and teaches 4 people to do 10 is an ED. A person who does 10 and teaches 4 people to do 10 is an ED. This ED that taught them to do 10 and they teach 4 people to do 10, this is a platinum position with 20 people. 20 people doing 10 sales is a platinum position. So it isn't craziness. It isn't like you're out there doing this just crazy. I don't know why it seems so hard. It is not hard. if you have a system, if you're using and sharing and coaching and duplicating, and you're not getting sidetracked and all this crazy stuff, look at the use the top prospects so you're prioritizing. Use the Wealth Builders tracking form so you find out the best way. On the Wealth Builders tracking form, you will see for a person, for this, let's say this PC person right here. I'm working with this associate here. And on their tracking form, everyone that came in their business with them came in on a one-on-one, that sit down. So I know that that person right there is really good at building their business through sit-downs. This PC person, this new Power 20 leg, they built their business with PBRs, private business receptions. They did all of them in their conference room at their office. They own an insurance company. They have a conference room. They invited everybody every two nights a week or 2 lunches a week. They did a lunch and learn in their conference room, invited people that they knew, come have lunch with me in my conference room. I got to show you what I'm doing. I'm really serious about expanding in this local marketplace. You've got to see what it is, first of all, for your family. Second of all, you might want to have, do this with me as a business. They come into the conference room every 2 days a week. He supplies lunch for them, and that's how this particular person possibly has built their business. Whoops. So that can be the best way for him. This one maybe used PCCs. He's super good at the phone, and he's building a team with PCC. So the key is that you build your sales team with a strategy that works for you and find out the strategy that works for your team. Don't pass on your strategy because it worked for you when it doesn't work for your team. My strategy that worked for me was 3-foot rule and recruiting. That was my thing. I could do that. That just totally made sense to me. Brielle totally could not figure that out. That was so uncomfortable for Brielle. So I was putting Brielle in my shoes to be recruit, recruit, recruit. And it didn't work for Brielle at all. She went out there and did the PC 5 sales, and then she helped train people to do PC 5 sales. She's like, the last month I saw her numbers, she did 160 sales. I mean, that's amazing just by helping people and teaching people to do what she just recruited 20 financial planners. I mean, a brokerage that understands it, sees it. Now all 20 of them are signing up. It's stuff like that because she's networking, she's getting referrals, she's consistent. Those kind of things are happening. But it started with her with just one-on-one presentations. That's it. 0, nothing else. One-on-one presentations. But that was what worked for her. All right, so the key is that you find when you're building a sales team, you're finding what works for them. This is 4 people selling 10 and you selling 10, which is huge sales income for you if you were to sell 10 and teach 4 people to sell. That's an ED position. This is a platinum position with 20 people. So if we do the right behaviors and really are out there understanding the value of seeing the people telling the story and getting those people protected and then getting those referrals that lead to possibly another sale that day and another sale the next day, rather than thinking, I can't talk to anybody unless it's in a big group, because that is not true. You are passing up one-on-ones and referrals and all the benefits and all the possibilities of those referrals from that one-on-one, thinking a one-on-one is not a successful way to build your business. And instead, you're waiting for everybody to come to a big briefing maybe, let's say, and you're waiting for everybody on Tuesday nights and they don't show up, and then Wednesday through the following Monday, you could have been doing one-on-ones, and you missed it because all you knew was one strategy, and so you're not using all the rest of them. So anyways, I'm going to turn it over to you, John. I am done. Are you ready to build a sales team? So let's see the aha moments people had from today.
I tell you what, I like your passion as you get kind of rolling along, especially at the end. You can just hear Darcy's passion and respect to this slide right here, whether it's ED, who coaches 3, that coaches 3, ED, and what we're putting together, Shield Team 10, why do 5 when we can double it and do 10, or the platinum position? Hopefully, I think all of you caught it, her passion and her excitement is, why is that? Because she sees every one of you, and we absolutely blew out this webinar today. We maxed out all the lines, and this is a large webinar. But because she sees every one of you, at the executive director level, at the bronze, silver, gold, platinum level, So I will just say this. You know, we've been in about 10 cities probably in the last 5 to 6 weeks, and, you know, 9 out of 10 people that are plugged into what we're talking about are, you know, freaking out because they're not doing these things. And the testimonials, the results, and the people that are following up that are plugged into this information are seeing tremendous results, you know, and whether it's the referrals to the power of 3, this is an awakening for a lot of folks. They share and say, I'm just not doing that. I've just never really thought about that. I get so excited about, you know, making the presentation and maybe making the sale that I don't even get into that referral to the power of 3. So for everybody who's dialed in, understand that what we're doing with you is absolutely critical, but it's what you do in moving this information out to the grassroots. None of these conversations that we're having with all of you amazing leaders is directed towards students. Darcy kicked off the call saying, you know, you signed an associate agreement. You are a business owner. You are the CEO of your company. Whether you're part-time or full-time, this vehicle will return, you know, everything that you dream of and that you desire, as long as you'll treat it certainly like the business that it is. Are you sold out? Have you drawn a line in the sand to right an injustice in North America? Are you sold out? Have you drawn a line in the sand to be an answer to a $300 billion industry that the media is advertising every single day for you and I? That be an identity theft. Are you sold out? You know, have you drawn a line in the sand to alleviate the stress in the North American marketplace because people aren't living life on their terms? You know, and if you are, then all of this becomes a major play for you, because now you understand the tracking, now you understand the how-tos, you understand the assessment, you understand the personal daily achievement. And you know, one other just quick thought here, are you sold out? You know, have you drawn a line in the sand in respect to understanding the power of the Legal Shield vehicle that you have? In other words, no other company, and that's why these types of webinars and this type of time together is so critical. No other company in the direct selling industry allows you to go to the market that we have in Legal Shield. Every other company is just kind of a direct, only to consumer, you know, marketing concept. We're direct to not just the consumers, but business owners, the most requested employee benefit, insurance brokers, financial planners, CPAs, a whole host of niche professional markets. We appeal to a value add to their book of business. We appeal to a revenue stream for them. We appeal to a whole host of markets that no other company in the direct selling industry can even talk about. So, you know, understand really, folks, what you have, but help your team to understand the power of, you know, what we have, and be focused on the duplication, multiplication aspect, the exponential aspect of this very unique, very special business model that will take you to the heights of anything you dream and desire. So with that, we're going to take a minute, and we will hear from a couple of the Millionaire Club members. If you have an aha moment in respect to anything that's been shared from Darcy this morning, just raise your hand. We'll call on you. If you have a testimony in respect to anything that you've used and how it's worked for you, then go ahead and raise your hand and we'll call on you. And we'll first go pop out to the Phoenix market and go ahead and get just a quick comment from a Millionaire Club member, Miss Brenda Lafredo. Brenda?
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. And Darcy, thank you so much for this presentation today, because what I love about it is the simplicity of it all. And what I've learned over the years with this business is if we keep it simple, and we, like you said, when we first start, we decide that we are running a business and we think a little bit about how we want that business to look, and follow this system, then it'll be successful. anytime you veer off of, or I've found that anytime I veered off of the simplicity of what we have in front of us is when, we lose momentum. So just stay with this simple process because it works, ladies and gentlemen. And I love, Darcy, the way you put it in front of us in this simple way. And I just want to compliment you also on your system that you're using for these presentations, because I was able to save that last chart, are you ready to build a sales team, and to my desktop and print it out, because everybody I recruit is going to see this. So I'm pretty excited about what you just offered us, and I really appreciate it. Back out to you, John.
Yeah, thanks, Brenda. That visual is critical, and I tell you what, the simplicity of coaching Coach 3 to Coach 3 to PC equals ED. It's a core value that we live by, and Darcy, if you'll go back to the slide, the simplicity of use, share, coach. Just use the membership. I mean, Darcy's example of her experience of using a tanning bed and feeling good about getting a tan, the results she got, then thinking, well, other people might like, the benefit I got from this. She buys a $6,000 tanning bed at 19. Folks, if that doesn't alleviate a whole host of excuses out there, I don't know what does. At 19, she didn't have $6,000, but she found a way to come up with it. $6,000, not $149. So hopefully that alleviates, or gives you another position of strength when you go to the marketplace, because 95% of people in North America recently surveyed are dissatisfied with income or lifestyle. If we don't have the best solution, I don't know who does. But just use, share, and then, coach. Where'd that go? Tell me, show me, let me grow me, but you use the product, share the product, coach, and then duplicate. So that's simple. That's simple. So good. Bob Cohen, we'll run out to you real quick also, one of our six-figure ring earners, and get a couple of quick comments, Bob, from you.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much, and congratulations, everybody. Yeah, that was exciting to see the webinar completely get maxed out here. There is the playback, so just a reminder there for folks who can't catch us live over at ShieldNation under events, is the very, very accommodating 24/7 playback, but you've got to schedule it. That's the key. Where do you schedule that? You schedule that on your PDA form. So just a couple comments, though. Love the simplicity. My favorite slide, Darcy, is probably the very first slide. That, in fact, if you don't mind addressing this, Darcy, do you see, like I see, probably John sees, that even myself, years ago coming into Legal Shield, I came from corporate America, and man, I was a good employee. I was a really good employee, and it's literally taken me a years to get rid of that employee mindset and to understand to be a business owner. Can you address that real quickly here, Darcy and John, that you guys see this a lot here, with most associates coming in with the, quote, employee mindset?
Can you hear me?
We can.
All right. Well, it actually shifted in me how to help people. Bob, I think you and I had a conversation. I saw a statistic that said 98% of people are followers and 2% are leaders. And I think I had been coaching from a mindset I had, at 19 I understood you make an investment and then you have to go to the marketplace and you have to share. I never, I didn't really want to go out there and share with everybody. I was very uncomfortable when I was 19, knocking on doors and sharing about my little old business that I had started. And I mean, I was scared. I was out of my comfort zone. I was shy. I did not want to do that. But I knew something in me said, if I don't do that, they will never know about it, and my business will not succeed. It was just this little share part. And that's why I say you can believe, you can use the service right here, and you can believe, but if you do not share, you've not made a difference. sorry. You know, you can think it's the greatest product ever, Legal Shield, but if you are not willing, and you know what, the reality is on employing yourself, this is the thing you're asking about, Bob. Why did so I started to realize, well, why was I willing to go out there and knock on doors and share at age 19 when I was super shy and I could barely say hi to anybody? I loved it so much. I thought it was so great of a service. I thought everybody should at least know about it. And I wasn't really thinking about who said yes or no. I just knew that if I told enough people would be like me. So it was very much mass, just kind of going out there and spreading seeds like a farmer in his ground. Some seeds are going to get taken by the wind, some the birds are going to eat, but some are going to get planted and a harvest will come. And so I had the seed time and harvest principle operating in me naturally, which is, but I had never really been in it. I'd never been an employee, so I'd never been ruined. I don't know how to say it this way, but I realized that my dedication to all of you on the phone is to teach you how to think like an entrepreneur. If there's anything that I am going to work on a weekly basis on this webinar, because I believe it's the factor, it's the different shift that you are responsible to those people. And I'll give you an example that just happened yesterday or the day before. Somebody went to a group, the HR director did a phenomenal group presentation. HR director comes in at the end of a phenomenal presentation, says, well, you guys don't have to sign up today, you know, think about it and you can bring it in on Friday. Okay, so this presentation was maybe Tuesday, and they were all filling out the apps, everybody's filling it out, and you know how we are as human nature. If you don't fill it out now, you think you're going to do it and then you don't. So the reality is you go in there and you make the presentation, you need to get action right now, because of human nature. Well, anyways, the HR director, and then somebody said something negative about Legal Shield to the HR director. Now there's employees in the enrollment that love the service, have the service, love this. The owner of the company signs up, immediately sees the value of it. Existing employees have had the service, can't say enough about it. And then one, you know, Yahoo gets a hold of the HR director. So I say to the person, here is your mission. Between all of those families, those employees, and you is an HR director that doesn't understand, that has been polluted by a negative person with a wrong information, okay? So you need to think bigger than the emotional, like scared, I'm scared to talk to that negative person. You have to think about on the other side of that person are 40 employees that can make a decision to or not to based on your willingness to be a warrior, your willingness to say, I will do what it takes to help that HR director see the truth. I am a truth seeker. I am a truth teller. I'm a storyteller. I'm a influencer. I'm dedicated. I'm a warrior. I need to help that person change the way they see things, because if I don't, 40 families are at risk to not have this benefit. 40 people could have a slanted view. So it's like a fight inside to serve your community, a fight inside to say to your friends that aren't succeeding that they just, you know, you got to have that passion, because it really is. An entrepreneur believes that what they have is a difference maker for people, and they're willing to overcome their own insecurities, possibly their own uncomfortableness, at the risk of letting someone else know about what they have, because they believe that much in the other person's benefit to know about it. So you kind of don't focus on the ugly, you know, rejection or no, or the whatever the obstacle. You look past the obstacle at the other side of all these people that are being mistreated and don't have access and don't even know about our service, like Darcy was as a small business owner, that no one came and presented to me. So I was one of those people on the other side of your fear. Was me sitting there being taken advantage of, having a terrible landlord, having unbelievable things happen to me as a small business owner. But someone like you was too afraid to come to somebody like me and push past that ugly, I'm not interested, you know, that whole first statement that everybody makes when they first talk to somebody, and figure out how to push past that ugly statement so that if you can break through and win them over to at least look at it. That's the fight we are. We are like warriors. I was thinking about it. So we have to be like this warrior, like this somebody that's on a mission that says we got to do whatever it takes. And so I think that's the entrepreneur, where the employee goes to work, clocks in, does the thing, and it doesn't have that impact. It's not in their heart. It's not like a mission. It's a job, and they don't have the that willingness to go over obstacles as much when it hasn't been their own company. So it's got to really go from your head to your heart, Bob. I don't know if I explained it well enough. I am dedicated to continue to teach entrepreneurial mindsets. That's what I'm going to teach on Friday webinars.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and for me, it was just my why, never to have a boss again. I was just sick and tired of waking up to an alarm clock, not taking vacations when I wanted to. And that's what drove me to make that shift from the employee mindset to being, like you say, an entrepreneur. This is my business. I'm staffing my company. And just good stuff. Again, it's all about the habits and behaviors of using these forms, especially the PDA form. Boy, that's such an eye-opener for everyone who really embraced it. Thank you so much.
And for everybody listening in, also from Bob's comment to Darcy's answer there, understand people's programming. If you think about most of us on this phone, the majority of our life on into college to our first job, somebody is always telling us what to do. You go to class, the bell rings, you sit down. Class is over, you stand up, you walk to the next class, you sit down, stand up, next class. In other words, we're just going kind of from class to class, instructor to instructor, and we're sitting and listening. And then, we go to college, we get a job, and then someone in the job tells us what to do. So our programming, for the most part, has not been for the 1099 world. It's been for someone else's world. So let's help to reprogram for our world as we build our dreams, and let's discipline ourselves. But more importantly, again, you all are on this call this morning. Let's help to discipline others as they pursue their dreams and desires. And so good stuff, good stuff. Real quick, we'll just take maybe, 10:30. Marv, I know that you probably have a quick comment here. I saw your hand up. Marv, anything you want to just kind of wrap up with? Because I know that you and the team have been a big part of our recent travels and this information that's been out there. So, Marv, any quick thoughts?
Yes, John, fantastic webinar. The thing that stands out for me, my business, my book of business, the activity has exploded because of referrals to the power of 3. Darcy was talking, I'm sure, about, maybe it wasn't me, but it was an ouch moment for me a couple of weeks ago when I really understood the power of 3 in terms of referrals and how it allows your business to grow and create the activity. The key is getting the team to understand the value of R3, and it creates tremendous activity, which creates tremendous momentum. And we're experiencing that right now because we understand the value of that. If we didn't get anything from this webinar today, please get R3. It makes the difference. I'm experiencing it every day, and the activity in my business has transitioned tremendously. And so that's all I wanted to share. John, back to you.
John, can you get a call on CJ? CJ, are you out there? I see your hand, but there's an exclamation point. Does that mean?
Darcy, can you hear me?
Is that CJ?
Hear me?
Yeah, okay. CJ, we just came from, Marv, thank you, because we just came from Pennsylvania, and I am seeing what's happening. Marv brought somebody to a hotel. I sat down. I did what I taught last week, the vision casting. That person was like, OMG. They could not believe the potential of what Legal Shield could do for them. And then they had 18 people in a reception, private business reception, and huge results from that. So that just, and they're already scheduling their second one, and this is just a couple days after we've left Pennsylvania. So huge things are happening with Marv, and now they're all like excited, and a bunch of things are happening in Pennsylvania. Now over to New Jersey, this is CJ, and CJ, he was like awesome. So I met CJ, and he was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? What is all this new stuff I'm learning? So CJ, why don't you share what's happened with you?
Thank you so much, Darcy and John, the amazing webinars that you continuously produce for us is just second to none. I've been dabbling with the ShieldNation for a while behind the scenes. I just took pieces of it, and when you came to the marketplace, it really broke down everything that I was doing wrong and put me on a pathway of everything that I can now do right. And right out the gate, this has been one of my most productive weeks that I've had in a really long time, just by getting back to basics, scheduling the meetings, seeing the people, writing memberships literally at networking meetings. I mean, like the floodgates have opened up, and I finally got out of my comfort zone and started asking for referrals because I never did it before. I just had this block, a mental block. I always figured that if you'd give me a referral, you might as well just become an associate. So I was always recruiting with a mindset of recruiting, where it's becoming easier now to share the value proposition of the membership, which leads to recruiting by osmosis of just sharing the value prop, because people are like, well, I have tons of clients that need this, or I know people, you mean we can get paid for this. So it's just been an amazing, eye-opening experience for me. And now I'm spending my time just transferring this to my team to really start plugging into everything that we have going on here, because this is the best system that I've ever seen in Legal Shield, hands down. So I just wanted to share that. I want to thank you and John very much for your leadership and for providing all of these resources to us and all the other leaders on this team. I've watched the consumer folder presentation dozens of times between Brielle and Mr. Cohen. A phenomenal job. I've never been in a situation where the product literally sells itself as much as it does at this moment in time. So I'm blessed, I'm happy, and back to you.
That's awesome. You just made my, you and Marv, that's the whole reason we go out to the marketplace, is try to change the way you think and bring you back to the basic business, just like Bob, you were saying with Verizon. I mean, geez, they just go share, and it's all about building a network. We're doing the same exact thing, and sometimes people think we do this weird, crazy thing, and I'm like, no, we're business people. Just like my tanning spas, just like Legal Shield, we just go out there and we share and we duplicate. We make money from training people, making sales, opening up groups, having associates train. The best way to say it in the simplest way is we sell the membership and train people to sell the membership. We sell memberships and recruit people to sell memberships, but really that's what we're doing. I'm building a sales network of people that go to the marketplace to make a difference. And so it's really not complicated, but boy, can people make it complicated. So thank you so much, CJ. That was the reason we get out to the market. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you, and we're here for you if you have any other questions, but keep plugging in. John, over to you.
Yep, fantastic. Well, CJ, appreciate it. Marv, appreciate it, all the comments. And, again, we maxed it out today. We will see about if the webinar service can offer us more lines, and they gave us a bunch. So with that, let's finish strong, guys. We have 1 week left in the amazing month of February, which is a shortened month. And please look at yourself and your team as far as the advancements go. Their relaxed requirements are absolutely phenomenal to advance to the next higher pay level. So take a look at that. Let's finish strong. All of you that are interested in finishing strong, advancing, and making the ED run at 4 o'clock today, we will have a ShieldNation leadership call. I have a special guest that will be coming on. We have an announcement in regards to Dallas, so come and join us. And that is on the conference line, the Sunday conference line that we use. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today on our normal Sunday conference line. Be blessed. Darcy, fantastic. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.